Thank you and good morning. My name's Mary Jo Orzik. I'm the Scholarly Communications Librarian here at SUNY Brockport. Today we're going to be talking about open pedagogy, walking the walk and talking the talk. I'm very happy to have a number of co-presenters with me today, and they'll be introducing themselves. But just as a prelude, on the call right now, we have Jennifer Kegler, Kathleen Olmsted, Logan Rath, um, Jay Zhang, and Ning Yu. Shirin Sultana may be joining us hopefully soon as well. Um, for my part, I'm just very happy to be um, doing a brief introduction just to make sure everyone is aware that Brockport's OER program is alive and well. We're thriving. We're closing in on our 10th year now. Uh, and our faculty continually are finding new ways to enhance and improve the program. Um, they're really delightfully surprising in terms of moving a lot of the things forward into what David Wiley yesterday called open OER enabled pedagogy or open education kinds of efforts. And that has just been frankly wonderful to see the kinds of interesting developments going on in that sphere. I'm especially happy when I can share some of these out with you. So we have again an ensemble cast who are going to give you some of some of the highlights of the past year since the last time we've met. We want to make sure that you all know how the OER is evolving, is moving into open pedagogy. The intersection with AI has been very interesting to see that how that's developed. And then thirdly, my point is that I want to really thank SUNY OER Services for all their support during this time, especially now with the SUNY OER Innovation, the academic innovation grants, including IITG and the OER impact grants. We're very glad that that's continuing and hope that it will for some time. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our first to the first of our people that we're showcasing, who is first on deck, right, is going to be Dr. Logan Rath and Dr. Kathleen Olmsted. Do you folks want to take it away?
Sure. Thanks, Mary Jo. I'm Kathy Olmsted, and I'm an associate professor of literacy at Brockport. And Logan and I do a lot of partnerships, and this is a particularly fun one that we've been working on. In January of 2024, New York State released its literacy briefs and, with an emphasis on evidence-based practices in literacy for our teacher educators. So we decided we wanted some reusable activities that if students were working on assignments. We wanted it to be something they could use in their classroom and others could use as well. So we took these big six skills and competencies: oral language, vocabulary, fluency, comprehension, phonics, and phonological awareness, and we decided to make an OER handbook. And if someone could just move to the next slide. Thank you. So what we did, my graduate course is a totally online class, and we do a lot of scenarios. So the scenario for this one is, many teachers rely on online sites like Teachers Pay Teachers, and there was a big hacking, kind of a scandal where school computers were hacked. So our students had to come up with some activities to promote those big six literacy skills in the classroom. And they were they were the authors, they would be the authors of this big six literacy skills and competencies activity handbook. I would be the editor, and I worked, doing multiple cycles of editing, as did Logan, and he's also the publisher. So that's basically the heart of our project, and Logan is going to tell you a little bit more.
Yeah, so with this, what we did is we put everything into Brightspace and ran this as a regular course assignment. But I put together a page there so that students understood sort of what we were doing. There were a few videos on what OER is and the 5 R's. There were information on Creative Commons so that students learned that they were becoming actual authors in a real live, soon to be published book. And so this chart at the bottom is something straight out of Brightspace that sort of set it up for students about who's doing what in the class. Mary Jo, if you can go to the next slide. Uh, so what we did is we tried to make this as easy for us as possible. And that was the part that took some thinking and planning. So we set up an assignment where students would submit their handbook pages. We've learned through doing this that we needed to be a little more specific with what we asked for and how we asked for the submitting, because the publishing part is taking a little longer than we had hoped. But then we also set up a quiz to collect the license information. So students were required to complete the quiz. They could choose any license they wanted, and we asked them to choose CC by SA at least. And then they typed into a box what they wanted to choose, so that we knew it was their authentic choice and it wasn't just, oh, this is the default, so I'm going to go along with this. And then we set this up, waited for questions to come in. This is the part where Kathy and I were sitting there going like, they're going to ask a lot of questions, and this is going to be so much more work than we ever imagined. And it wasn't. They just did their work. So then we downloaded everything, worked through it we worked through Google Docs to edit everything, and we're in the process of publishing them now.
Nope. I
Oh,
think,
so next up, oh, thank you, Logan.
thank you, Logan and Kathy. I'm sorry. This is me, right, Mary Jo?
Yes,
Yeah,
right.
so hello, my name's Jennifer Kegler, and I am one of the librarians who works here at SUNY Brockport. And my piece, this has actually been going on for probably 8 years. So changes from last year, not quite as many, but you can see with my colleague Logan, he's one of the librarians here. He has done some obviously great work with OER and working specifically with classes. And then I have worked with classes such as education, journalism, and broadcasting. This year I had a chance to work with a new psychology class that was on sustainability and Venezuela, and helping a faculty member get that online through our COIL program. I have taught research workshops in courses, and I've also provided modules about in the online learning management systems. For us, for the librarians here, it's been a great opportunity to have some scholarly output and working with faculty to either write articles, create content. It's just been such a wonderful opportunity for us, and we kind of have the time, as we librarians do a lot of different things, but this has been so exciting. And for me, especially to see our students, I work a lot with the COIL program, and seeing them interact with students from around the world has been very rewarding. We all have worked on writing new OER, and then we do get asked by faculty, can you find an OER for this sustainable topic? And I also need to be able to translate it into Spanish, because I have Spanish speaking students and English. And that was really exciting that we just did this past year. Mary Jo, if you can go forward, I think, yes. And this is our country and culture research guide. This has some OER in it, as well as it still links to our library databases. That's been the hardest sort of resource to find that students from other countries can use when we're talking about the COIL courses. But this helps our students learn about other countries and cultures, and we try to get them into more reputable sources. When I was first working with faculty, students were pulling things from student blogs and from sites that actually had incorrect information. So I'm sure many of you realize trying to get them to use good sources is hard. Some of these classes are intro, so they have freshmen and sophomores who maybe have not learned yet about resources. So this is a good way to get that out to them. And I've actually used these resources for my own research when I travel. So a lot of good stuff going on here in the library.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Jennifer.
Thank you, Mary Jo. I will take it over. Thank you, Jennifer, for the COIL and the collaboration between librarians and the faculty members. Yesterday, I attended another workshop on kind of pedagogy, and I think COIL and OER are indeed the kind of pedagogy that we send the message to our students that we care, and also our colleagues also send messages to us to say we care, so we support. Without OER, I don't think my COIL can be offered. And even now, like when I'm also into the new field of AI-powered tutoring project, OER is also another big component because I'm still using OER materials, and all my students just like don't need to cost any money to learn in this process. And about our AI tutoring project, originally it was Dr. Ning Yu who's going to talk after me. And I brainstormed what can we do to embed some AI features into our courses so my teacher candidates won't get lost when they go to the schools, and found the schools are encouraging, some of the schools are encouraging teachers to use AI tools. And then we received some IITG grants under Dr. Yu's leadership, and this will be our second year to do it. And our team expanded from 2 faculty members to 7 faculty members, 5 disciplines, and 4 SUNY campuses. And it's still growing, and we are trying to recruiting more students. So this is a collaborative growth, and it links student experiential learning and faculty learning community to put our efforts together. And the way how we did it was I provided Dr. Yu's students materials so that they can develop an Agile ally, which is an AI-powered application, and get it ready for my students to make some answers. And then once the students finish the first submission, they will receive AI-powered feedback, which is tailored to their answers and very targeted to our teaching materials instead of general AI feedback. And then after the review of the feedback, the students will revise their answers and do the second revision. And then I will go in to review both answers and then give my students a final grades. The students are very appreciative of the immediate feedback AI and the thorough feedback AI provided. And also they like the way that with the 2 submissions, their anxiety was reduced, and it forced them to go back to check their answers. So their learning was really kind of self-motivated, and with the self-reflection and self-assessment component in it to strengthen the learning process. And with the first year's pilot, now we are going to expand it, continuing the test we have been already run, and expand to other several other modules, and expand to more courses across more disciplines, more universities. With that, I will give this to Dr. Yu. Thank you.
Thank you, Jie and Mary Jo. This is Ning Yu, Associate Professor in Computer Science in Brockport. So I would like to share some ideas that is behind the scene. So we would discuss, something about students' preparedness, for their profession. So across many fields, especially in the technology, graduates, they often face some skill misalignment. So employers seek some, adaptable and, the experienced problem solver. Yet our students often lack some opportunities for real-world practice. So we really need to better integrate, some hands-on industrial aligned experience, to our program. And next, that is higher education often change very slow, while some fields like AI and computing sciences, evolved very fast. So by the time of student graduate, there is knowledge is often get outdated. So building a more this kind of sustainable curriculum that is essential to keep this kind of learning relevant. And also exploring new growth points in the AI area for faculty development that is important. Initiatives like our, the ACM CGI student chapter have strengthened professional growth, collaborations, and institutional support. This can help our educators involved with technology and close the gap together. Yeah, thank you, Mary Jo. So next slide. Thank you. So our students have been deeply involved into every phases of our edu-ally development. This kind of software platform for adaptive learning, from design and software engineering and to AI integration and user experience. They all deeply involved. This platform that is piloted in a special education course and now that is expanded to others. So students gain a lot of this kind of recognition and also co-authored several research papers represent in some very important conference such as AACU and the CIT, AC and international conference, and etc. Next slide. Thank you. So at Brockport, we made very exciting progress in AI and education. So our student work has been featured in Rochester Business Journal and SUNY Research 360, highlighting our Brockport's leadership in AI innovation and experiential learning. So next slide. So our next step that is to expand the AI development to more courses. The AI student chapters lead the development of faculty test and refine the tools, and the learners benefit directly in the classroom. So we also trying to restructure the software with modern cloud architectures and new technologies, trying to building a scalable model that can connect innovation, teaching, and learning across disciplines. So that is all my portion. Thank you very much. I leave it to next.
So hello everyone, I'm Shirin Sultana. I'm faculty of social work department at SUNY Brockport. So I'm talking about the application part, and I did not use solely to teach OER resources until last year, and I developed a new course. It's named Global Social Work and Social Development. And before I developed this course, I heard about OER, and I know that students love to have books that doesn't cost any money, and they can use the resource that are already ready and on Brightspace, or the links or material sites are available on the syllabus. So I definitely reached out to the librarians. Of course, I'm going to mention Mary Jo, Logan, and Jennifer, and my colleagues, JJ and Ning, always helped me throughout this process. So this course I developed to teach, to give my students a sense of understanding about global issues and global challenges, especially how they could work to address those challenges as a social worker or as a global social worker. So mostly the concepts I use definitely related to social work and how social work is practiced in US context, non-US context, in the Western context, non-Western context, or given the resource limited countries context versus the resource worthy countries context. I used some theories And I found OER resources related to theories like modernization or colonialism, post-colonialism, and how those theories helps students to understand how social challenges evolve over the time and how they could engage or to practice with the client who are experiencing those challenges by getting the skills, mostly engagement, assessment, and intervention. And they find this through research. So those are the pieces are aligned or kind of overlapping with each other's, like they want to engage or they want to find the best intervention, they need to do research. And many international organizations or even national or local level organizations have some interventions of procedure, like kind of lot of non-profit organizations in, for example, Bangladesh, they use the microcredit social business tool to address poverty. So my students learned all those organizational intervention, lot of even intervention, like how that intervention they could use to address those challenges. So I found peer-reviewed articles, websites, documentaries, of course, some podcasts that were very relevant for my students to listen, watch, read, and apply in their understanding and write the assignments they do write. So they used active learning strategies. They were very engaged, and this is kind of a good way to use open pedagogy. And the challenges, solution, and call to action, I find is still my students are happy. I'm currently teaching this course in this semester. So they're using these sources, they're happy. I see their writings, and in their writings, the reflection on the knowledge they are getting from these OER resources. So I look forward to use more OER resources in the courses I would develop or use for teaching in future. Thank you. Next slide, Mary Jo.
All right, did anyone have any questions? Here's the contact information for all of today's presenters. If you do have some questions, we're a little bit short on time, go ahead and put them into the chat and we'll make sure to forward them to all the presenters. All right, well, thank you, everyone.